What is up, YouTube? Ruben here. Today I'm going to show you guys this computer right here. This is the HP Pavilion 20, model number 20-B013W. So, how did I get this computer, you ask? Well, my mom called me on September 15th, and she called me that there was a computer actually sitting on the curb. Actually, not that far from where I live. Just a 3-minute walk here. And I ran all the way to where my mom's car was at. And sure enough, this was the computer itself, along with the keyboard, mouse, and the actual receiver, which is actually on the back. So I picked it up along with a printer right here. So yeah, and it even came with the power cord, as you may be able to tell by the bottom left, and the mouse. So this computer right here is actually one of the generations where they started transitioning into all-in-ones. Well, that was a thing back then, around 2011 or 2012. So yeah, and those were pretty much the first systems to run Windows 8. Of course, there were systems that ran Windows 7. So there you go. So let's go ahead and talk about this machine. Now there's actually two other models actually similar to this one. Not just the B013W, there was a B010 and a B014. Now the B010, I suppose, was a Windows 8 system, whereas the B014 was a Windows 8.1 system. So there you go. So let's go ahead and, oh, and by the way, this is not even touchscreen, so you'll see that when I attempt to do it in touchscreen, but I would guarantee you this one is not touchscreen. So let's go and get this started. So on the front, you will see, and I need a camera, I need the flashlight on. We have the webcam and the light right there, along with the microphones, which you may not see them. There's the model number, or well, designation, the Pavilion 20. And then right here we got the 20-inch screen right there. Then you get the sticker for the AMD E1, and this is an AMD system. You get the speaker grills and the HP logo. Now let's turn over to the left, right here. Well, usually the right. So on that side we have a DVD burner. This is DVD-RW, and that was pretty much it for what's seen on this side. Well, the left side, of course. Unplug that. Now let's get to the back. So on the back we have the HP logo right here. Then you got some information right here. There's a model number, which is the HP Pavilion 20-B013W, and this is 1-year warranty. And then hidden in here, well, actually right here, more information, and then tucked inside you'll see the Windows 8 sticker right there. And then also on the back you'll see the DC in jack with the power indicator right there. Now, funny enough, the indicator does not light up until you push the power button. And it uses an external power supply, which means if a power supply goes out, you can buy another one. So that's what I like about this computer. this one has an external power supply, which means there is no internal power supply in this one, just an external one. And of course, some all-in-one systems have internal power supplies. And then right here we got the Ethernet port, 4 USB 2.0 ports. I should have got closer. And also your line out port, which can be used for speakers. And then on the right, you'll see the power button. Then you got the hard drive indicator. And this indicator right here, that's for the SD card. And there is an SD card slot right here. It supports SD, MS, and XD. And then right here you get 2 USB 3.0 ports. So this computer is old enough to go ahead and have USB 3.0 on these systems. And then right here you get the microphone and headphone jacks. And that was pretty much it for what we got on this system. So the upgrades, I did get inside the computer and it was not that easy to actually take apart. I had to literally fold the actual stand up and then literally just get the whole back panel off to get to the internals. And the RAM, CPU, well, the CPU isn't even upgradable, but the RAM, hard drive, and possibly the motherboard are replaceable. So I would probably not recommend working on these, as there could be some damage that you might make if you don't do it right. So yeah. Now let's go over the specs. So this one has an AMD E1-1200 running at, I think it's 1.4 gigahertz or something, I think. It has 4 gigs of RAM, and this is DDR3 running at 1066. And this one has a 500 gigabyte hard drive, and this is a SATA-III drive, so you can literally upgrade this to an SSD. So it will support SATA-III, and it's running, now originally came with Windows 8, 8 even, it ran Windows 8, but it's running Windows 10 Home Anniversary Update, so that's version 1607, and it's running 64-bit, so there you go. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set up the computer, so I'll be back. Okay, so the computer has been set up, so let's go ahead and boot it up. So I'm not going to do a smoke testing once again, so let's start up the machine. Now first of all, we're going to go to the system information. As you can see, this is model number 20-BO13W, and it's an AMD E1-1200, and it was 1.4 gigahertz, so I'm correct. And this one has 1 megabyte of cache, well, L2 cache exactly. The RAM, once again, is 4 gigabytes of DDR3 running at 1066. So yeah, and it's at DIMM number 2, and I think it uses desktop RAM. And let's go to the BIOS. So again, we already know it, and this is from 2012. And here is the location for American Megatrends 5555 Oak Brook Parkway, Norcross, Georgia. I'm pretty sure they might be still in business. I'm pretty sure they might be in business still. So yeah, it could be wrong, but again, it is what it is. This one does have secure boot. If you go to security and go to system secure boot configuration and hit F10, this is where you can enable legacy boot. But we're not going to do that because this one has secure boot enabled. So we're going to ignore those changes. So let's go ahead and start up Windows 10. So as you can see, it doesn't boot much faster, but it is what it is. Let me turn on the mouse. And I'm using a wireless mouse that came with the computer. Now the reason why it still shows the HP logo while booting is because, again, this one has UEFI BIOS, and not only that, this one has secure boot enabled, so if you were to disable it, you'll only see the Windows logo unless an EFI file actually loads. So as you can see, we're at the desktop. So yeah. So let's go ahead and go to system properties by going to the search bar and typing system. System. And it's not actually, no, the screen is not flickering. The camera is making the screen flicker, so yeah, it does not like the refresh rate, so yeah. As you can see, again, AMD E1-1200, and it does have Radeon HD graphics running at 1.4 GHz, and this is an APU, so the GPU and the CPU are all together in one single chip. So there you go. Again, 4 gigs of RAM, 3.58 gigs because of the graphics, 64-bit. Of course, because it has a digital entitlement, you can still use the Windows 8 key in Windows 10. So yeah. Now let's go to Device Manager. If it will load. Now the hard drive, this is a Seagate hard drive, and this is a 500 gig hard drive. Display adapters, this one has the AMD Radeon HD 7310. The DVD is just an HP DVD drive. Now sadly this one does not have TPM, which we're getting, as I'm recording this video, we're getting close towards Windows 11, which sadly this computer will not support Windows 11 because it's too old. So yeah. Now for network, it uses the Rawlink RT5390R, and that's the Wi-Fi. And it also has the PCIe FE family controller from Realtek. And of course, the third one, self-explanatory, just because I have VirtualBox installed. So of course it's going to show the VirtualBox host only Ethernet adapter. From processors, and this is 2 cores and 2 threads, nothing else. And this one has Realtek audio, and that was pretty much it. So let's go for some programs. So let's go into let's go into Control Panel, go to Programs and Features. So as you can see, here are the programs that I installed. You can read this yourself because I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it does have 7-zip, C clear of course, Chrome, and you can read it yourself right there. And of course, I have VirtualBox. I actually used VirtualBox to install a few operating systems in that program, and well, it turns out kind of smoothly, but Windows 10 it was kind of slow to install it. The reason why I have VirtualBox installed is because I might return to making videos on how to install Windows, Linux, or I think some operating system in VirtualBox. So yeah. Now let's go ahead and test some programs. Let's start off with, actually before we do that, let's go into the graphics, because some of you might ask for graphics, of course, and because it's 2021, of course, Windows 10 is still a good operating system until 2025. Now as you can see, for the AMD Radeon HD 7310, it has 384 megabytes of RAM with shared system memory of 1664, with the total available graphics being 2 gigabytes. So there you go. Now let's go over to some programs. So let's start with CPU-Z. This might take a bit because we are running off a hard drive. If we were to run on an SSD, that would be good, and it could be different. So yeah. Now as you can see, for what we got, this is a SATA code name right here on the processor, and this is a Socket FT1 BGA, which is soldered. Now the cache we already talked about. Now memory, it's again 1066, 4 gigabytes. And if we go to slot 2, it's running DDR3 12800 at 800 megahertz. It was running at 1066. And let's go ahead and benchmark the CPU, which, because of the dual core, the single thread would be lower than what you're going to be seeing. So let's see what we got in CPU-Z. So the multi-thread was at 102, and it looks like the single thread is 52. Nope, 53. So yeah, that would think this is the dual core processor, so double the amount. So yeah. Next is the actually, let's run Google Chrome, because who knows, if you're watching YouTube, you might be watching it on Chrome. And I did install Chrome, I think it was 88. And I'm going to install a newer version of Chrome. I'll be quiet. As you can see, Chrome 88. So there you go. And now let's run Opera. I installed Opera 74. I haven't installed Firefox, so I think we're at the 90s. So I'll install Firefox when I have the time. Now if you go to settings, advanced, browser, where is about? Yeah, I don't see it, but it's nice. But I guarantee you this is running Opera 74. So, yeah. And now let's run VirtualBox. Here we go, VirtualBox, and I'm running 5.2.16. So let's go and run Specky. Now, again, it's running Windows 10 Home 64-bit. Now, because the CPU is soldered, there is no temperature available. Motherboard is a Pegatron. Now, funny enough, Pegatron is known for pretty much lots of failures. And I think I saw one video of a Pegatron motherboard actually fail. So, yeah. So I have to be aware of Pegatron motherboards when it comes to cheap computers. Now, the GPU, here is some of the information I'm going to tell you. The GPU is based on the Wrestler architecture, running at 500 megahertz, and this is DDR3. Now, storage, again, is a Seagate drive, a SATA-III, and that's pretty much it. Now let's run VLC Media Player, because of course they never use Windows Media Player that much, but yes, they also use Media Player, or if I would run Windows 8 or 10, movies and TV. So that's VLC, and let's go to Win to USB. As you can see, this is Win to USB, and now Wistree. There's obviously more programs that I haven't showed you. Let's go and scan the hard drive. This might take a while. So as you can see, it showed the C drive. In fact, let's go to Disk PC, so I can tell you how much space we got here. That is, it's gonna load. And it's gonna try to load. Now 7-zip. Of course, nothing special about 7-zip. I'm running 16.04. And that was pretty much it for what we got with this computer. Yeah, that was pretty much it for. Oh, let's open up Edge, the old Edge right there, because I haven't installed the Chromium version. Where there's no internet. So there we go. Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of getting slow here, but I can guarantee you this is a 500 gig hard drive. In fact, I have something that might work. Okay, disk management. Here we go. Create and format hard disk partitions. See, as you can see, this is a 500 gigabyte hard drive. So there you go. And with that being said and done, I think that was, well, let's go and run Paint. Haven't done one. So here we go, Paint. See if I can build a Windows 11 logo with Paint. Oh, sort of. This is also the Microsoft logo, by the way. And now, let's have in WordPad. I don't have OpenOffice or any Microsoft Office programs installed, so I'm just going to use WordPad. And I'm going to type in hello So we're gonna make it bigger. We're gonna set it to 72. I'm gonna center this. Actually, yeah, center this. Bold it, italicize it. Actually, underline it. Okay. And then strike through. And there you go. So that was pretty much it for what we got in WordPad. So let's go ahead and close it. And with that being said and done, now it's time to get to the conclusion. So in conclusion, is it worth it? Well, as long as you have Windows 10 installed until 2025, then I could say yes. Now I know this is a 720p system, but I think you can run 1080p on this system. Not 4K, but again, this is mainly used for word processing, light video editing, like what you see with Windows Movie Maker, and pretty much web browsing. You can even watch YouTube videos mainly at 720p, and any light games that you might play. I haven't even tested FNAF World yet. In fact, I haven't played it for like a year now. Or over a year since I last played it. So, I may want to start playing FNAF World again, so, yeah. So, this computer right here isn't really the best, but again, it is what it is. Now, if you were running Windows 8, yeah, the original Windows 8, then I would say you better upgrade to Windows 8.1. If you have Windows 8.1, then at least it's still worth it until 2023, and it is eligible for Windows 10. And with Secure Boot, you can only run Microsoft signed operating systems. If you disable it, you can run Linux and even older Microsoft operating systems that do not support Secure Boot. So, and because this system is from 2012, it should be old enough to go ahead and run Windows 10, no problem. Now, of course, if you're trying to upgrade it to Windows 11, then better chances are you will not be able to run Windows 11 on this machine at this point, because one, Windows 11 requires you to have 4 gigs of RAM, which of course this computer has, 64 gigabytes of storage, which is one of the dumbest things they ever done for Windows 11. And by the way, it's coming out in 2 days as I'm recording this. And not only that, you must have TPM 2.0 enabled on this system, which unfortunately this system does not have it. In fact, this one doesn't even have TPM 1.2. So, yeah, that's kind of annoying. For everything else, though, and the graphics, of course, you must have DirectX 12, which I think this one has DirectX 10. So, that's pretty much what this computer has. The last officially supported version of Windows is Windows 10. And Windows 11 is not eligible for this machine. The only one I have that is eligible for Windows 11 is my HP Stream 14, which I did a video on a few months ago. So, there you go. And what is the next computer, you ask? Well, I do have another one I haven't even reviewed yet, and that is an Acer Chromebook that I'll be reviewing. So, yeah, stay tuned for that one, and I'll have to see more Chrome OS videos coming to your way as things are kind of getting back to normal again, thanks to the vaccines. So, yeah. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I don't care if you give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down or whatever. I also make sure that I check every comment to make sure that nothing suspicious is happening. So, yeah. well, that's pretty much the end of the video, so thank you guys for watching. Please remember to subscribe to my channel by clicking the like. Oh, I can't even talk. By hitting the subscribe button. You can also follow me on Facebook, which I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna put a Facebook link on there. But you can also follow me on Twitter at RubenUpReisha17, which is pretty much never used that much. And you can also follow me on Instagram at Ruben the Transit Fan, or if you want some transit content, you can also follow me on Ruben's Transit Hub. And I make transit videos pretty much on a daily basis, but not much. So this channel is mainly about public transit, but I also do other stuff too. So if you want to see what's next, let me know in the comments. Well, that's pretty much it for the review of the HP Pavilion 20 model 20-BO13W. So let's go and sign off. So I'll see you next time.